If you are choosing between the UK and the US, watch this video to the end. This decision changes your money. This decision changes your mental health, your freedom, your future stress level, because no one explained the difference between these two systems to them clearly. And one mistake can affect your entire abroad or living abroad dreams.
Твізи панстикли.
Because if you are not able to factor a lot of things into your decision making, which of these two countries to choose from, then you are going to be in serious problems. You see, people make the wrong decision not because they didn't research enough, but because they researched the wrong things. They got the wrong informations. They only watched what they can see online on their Instagram reels, their TikTok videos. So making a decision wasn't thoughtful. These two countries, same language, but different culture on the surface, very different lifestyles. Once your choice is made, because one good choice will reward you well, the other will also not reward you well. So, decisions to live in these two countries or move to these two countries should be really thoughtful. You know, the UK and the US are among the best countries in the world. You know that. But being among the best countries in the world doesn't necessarily mean that it will help you or not. In the longer term, your decision has to be based on the longer term, not the shorter term, but on the longer term. Will it help you? Connected it to your career, your education, everything will basically help you. Because once you move, going back feels like failure. So there are some people living abroad wants to go back home and then they start to think, oh, should I go back home? They see that as failure. Even when it isn't, it's not that it's a failure, but I mean, the decisions were not made well. So now they are looking at themselves. Did I make the right decision to move to the US or the UK? The fact that a friend or family is living in the US or the UK does not necessarily means that when you also move there, things will work that well for you. You have to make a very long-term decision, decisions that will help you, because these people out there, the decisions they made is either helping them or not. So the question is, what about you? What are you factoring in the decision making before you move to any of these two countries? Trust me, these countries are wonderful to live in. It's wonderful. The US same, but your decision has to be very thoughtful with a huge checklist. Why people get this wrong? People make the wrong decision between these two countries based on comparing salaries. The US, you can get more salary. Your friends call you, your family may be there. Come, you make more money. Come. You see, they compare the salaries. They compare photos on Instagram. You see the photos on Instagram. Wow, you look good. Hey, I want to come there. The YouTube vlogs. You see some luxurious cars, and but the question is that a reality? So they compare opinions from people who left there on a bad note, or even who left there in a good note in many years ago, without assessing those opinions quite well. They don't compare the daily life. They don't compare the reality on the ground. You see, they don't compare how often you would think about money, how often you worry about getting sick. They don't compare or they don't think about how often you feel trapped by paperwork. And you see, paperwork can be very extreme. When I was in China some years back, even when the period of renewing your visa is getting closer, you feel that you don't feel comfortable because you never know what will happen at immigration. You you can be denied and you have to pack and leave. So regrets come not in 1 month. Regret comes after the honeymoon phase. So Month one is exciting. Month two is wonderful. Month three, you have a new accent, I mean, the UK, new routine, okay? Regrets come later after all these new vibes and excitement. So, after the honeymoon ends, reality replaces the novelty. That's when people say, I didn't expect this. I didn't know it worked like that. No one told me, and the truth is, people did tell them, just not clearly, just not honestly, not without bias. So, don't make the decision between these two countries on a wrong note because the reality on the ground, as you see on the social media, those luxurious Instagram reels can be very different when you get to the ground. Okay, let's talk about the money illusion. See, US high salaries, very high ceilings, you can double your income fast. But ask yourself, how do you double your income fast in the US or even in the UK? By working more hours, okay? And by working more hours means that more stress, more pressure. So healthcare is also expensive. Insurance is confusing. One emergency can destroy years of your savings. And you don't see this on the Instagram reels. That is the reality. That's the truth. Rent rises suddenly. I mean, within a year, your rent is, moving up. Layoffs happen without a warning. Benefits can disappear, or benefits may disappear overnight. You earn more, of course. True, you earn more, but you spend with fear because you don't know what's next. You don't budget for fun, you don't budget for disaster. So when disaster comes in, then it becomes a struggle. Family and friends are calling you for support, you see, and all these are the reality on the ground. So if you are moving to the US or you want to move to the UK, include this in your decision making. And I believe that it can help shape your decision to avoid any mistakes that can make your life unbearable in any of these two countries. UK, low salaries, maybe smaller jumps, less upside, but systems protect you. Healthcare won't bankrupt you, of course, and rents increases slower. So the employment laws also matter because you have to work to make the money to take care of yourself, or even you want to make some businesses to help yourself. So definitely, yes, employment laws you matters because you need to learn about this. You earn less, but you breathe easier. You don't worry about one bad month ruining everything. Money stress exists in the US, in the UK. There is pressure everywhere, but it's predictable. So the key line I want to give you here is US drains fast, UK drains slow. One burns you quickly, the other erodes you quietly. So before you make a decision between these two countries, please be very thoughtful in the longer term because this is the place you are going to live to build your career. So in the longer term, you have to consider this checklist and any other relevant information that can help you in these two countries. You have to make sure that you are putting it into your decision making. Don't only follow the Instagram reels and and the YouTube vlogs. Yes, it's exciting. It's nice to watch, but the question is that a reality on the ground? If this is already helping you, don't forget to subscribe to Dust Nomad. This channel is about reality, not just dreams. Let's talk about these two countries, the working culture. You see, in the US, the hustle culture is real. The productivity defines your worth. Okay, you get that. So your productivity will define your worth. I mean, you are always on. Time off feels risky. Sick days feel like weakness. Vacation feels like guilt because when you are sick, meaning you are not going to work, and once you don't go to work, you don't get the paid. Yeah. You are judged by output, not effort. Loyalty is optional. Today you can be working here, tomorrow you are working in another company. So there is nothing like there is nothing like loyalty. So your loyalty becomes optional. Performance never stops in the US. Why? You have to keep working to make the bills. I mean, to make the every dollar to pay off your bills, support family and friends who are asking you for help. You see, but you can fall faster. In the UK, work-life balance exists on paper and in practice, depending on how you are putting your things together. People leave work on time. Burnout is discussed, not celebrated. You can feel the burnout, the pressure. Pressure is everywhere. You can feel that. But promotions are slow. Hierarchy matters, and rules matters more than results. Just like living in China, rules are rules. No, the law is the law. Rules are rules, and you must follow the rules. You can't skip. How? It's not possible. Okay, so the rules matters more than the result. You feel safe, yes, and I mean, but also limited. You don't feel the pressure. You feel restrained, of course. There is pressure everywhere. You will feel that, but not to the extreme. So they have to ask yourself, which of these countries am I going for the longer term? US pushes you hard. UK holds you back gently. So in the longer term, between the US and the UK, looking at yourself, what will be the best choice? Factor this in your decision making. Now, let's talk about their social life and loneliness. People in the US are friendly, conversations are easy. I've worked with many of the Americans. They are friendly. They are friendly. I mean, conversations are easy. I mean, hi, bro. It's easy. Smiles comes quickly. Everyone is busy. Everyone is optimizing. Everyone is optimizing something. Friendship will revolve around work, fitness, or networking. You go to the gym and then, oh, hi, hi. If you are not that shy person and friendly, you can make that. I mean, networking over there. Community is optional. You choose, and I mean, you choose which community you would like to join and which you don't want to. Isolation hides behind activity, and I mean, you feel surrounded, so yet supported. So even though it can feel lonely in this country, how sociable are you? How network minded are you in terms of getting to know people, networking with the right people, or that? You can have thousands of people around you, but the question is, do you belong there? In the UK, polite but distant sarcasm replaces vulnerability. People take time to trust. Circles are closed. Integration in the UK is slow, of course, for every country, because once you move to any country, it takes time for you to integrate. I have experienced this over my 10 years of traveling. It takes time. Integration is slowly for you to. Loneliness is quiet, not obvious, but when you are in, you are in. And when you are out, you are out. So US feels lonely in the crowds. It depends on your lifestyle. Okay, it depends on your lifestyle. Whilst UK feels lonely in silence, also depends on your lifestyle. I prefer to be around few people that is more um, like-minded than thousands of people that is not. So if I feel that I will be in the thousands and nothing, I wouldn't do that. So that is me. So you choose what best works for you, and then you make sure to online and then learn. Now let's talk about the freedom and security in both countries. US gives you freedom, freedom to start over, freedom to win big, freedom to fail publicly, freedom to collapse without backup, not collapsing and going to the hospital. I'm not talking about that. You see, but you choose your path. You choose your path. Between the UK and the US, you choose your path, but you carry the consequences alone. So make the right choice. UK gives security, protection, the safety net, predictability, but less flexibility, less speed, less upside. Do you want freedom or protection? Because you rarely get both. These wonderful countries, one wrong choice can affect or travel. If you're still watching this video, subscribe, like it, share so that it will help others. And that tells me this content matters to you. Thank you for subscribing and liking. And also let me know in the comment section which of these two countries you would want to move to and your reason why. Now, I will tell you one of the most important things that you don't actually see the reality on the social media and race, and that also affects your decision making. And that is the immigration reality. You see, when I was in China, anytime you have to go and renew your visa, you feel that pressure. Anyone living abroad can testify to this. In the US, like you can see what is happening now, hard entry, visa lotteries, employer control, your job owns your future. One layoffs equals panic because you don't know whether you're going to lose the job or not. And once you lose the job, you don't have any money. You will not be earning money. And uncertainty never ends. Build a life on a temporary status. So immigration reality should be a very key checklist when you're making decisions between these two countries. Because there are some countries that you have to be renewing your visa either quarterly, half yearly, yearly, maybe 2 years or whatever it is. In the UK, bureaucracy, paperwork, rule changes, waiting is normal. You have to make appointment. You have to make appointment to get there. Yeah, back in Africa, you are sick, you go to the hospital with no appointment. In the UK, you make appointment. Okay. Settlement takes patience. If you're not patient, then in the UK, you cannot get your settlement. But once you are in, life stabilizes. If you are able to focus on your long term goals, life will stabilize for you. People don't leave countries, they leave systems. And this is something that I have come to learn that people that are engaged, people that will send me messages asking questions about what they should do and whatever, and I share my candid opinion. They are leaving the country not because they hate the country, they are leaving the country not because they don't like the country, they are leaving because of the systems. And you see, when you travel, you are traveling to live in a system. So, country is not a content. Living in a country is living in a system for a long time. So, when the systems are not helping you, then frustration starts coming in. Now in the US, you have to pay some bonds or maybe some cash deposit, whatever it is, before, so that when you don't go by the visa requirements, that money is not refunded to you. And there are a lot of countries that the Donald Trump administration, has listed them under those bonds that you have to make some bond before. So hard entry. So from my experience with traveling, changing visas all the time, when you understand the visa reality of any country that you want to move to, it gives you that peace of mind and also helps you to plan ahead. Let me tell you something. When I was in China some years back, there were some periods that I have to renew my visa every 3 months. There were periods I have to renew my visa every 6 months. And later on, I had a company that also sponsored me a job. And this time, I had to renew the visa yearly. And I think in my later days in China, fortunately, I had a 2 years and I didn't need to go there and renew it yearly. And anyone who has lived in China before will tell you that when it's time to renew your visa, it's like Holyfield and Mike Tyson fight. You know, both sides, supporters or fans, that nervousness, that anxiety is real. Understanding the immigration reality of any country that you want to move to will be a very great advantage to you because you know the country you're moving to and how the immigration reality is. Once you understand that, Once you ask questions and people are giving you the honest and the reality on the ground responses, it shapes your decision making to make the right choice. When you make the wrong choice, you get wrong results. So I hope this video will be of great importance to you, will be of great help to you to make the right choices. Yes, they are wonderful countries, but in the longer term, would it fit you or not? In the UK, it takes time to get your settlement. It takes time. So if you are not the patient person, if you're not patient enough to go through all those number of years to get your settlement in the UK, and you want everything like fast food, then UK will not be the best place for you to go because it takes time. You have to follow the rules, and it takes that 5 to 10 years before you get your settlement. And every country with their own immigration realities. So depending on which country that you are going. But today, my focus is on the UK and the US. Moving to any of these countries, understand the immigration reality. What visa are you going to the country with? And what are the options for those visas? Once you are in, life will stabilize for you depending on what your plans are. Choose USA if you handle risk well. If you don't handle risk well, bro, don't choose the USA. You recover fast from failure. Okay, you want upside, you accept pressure, you are okay being disposable, then choose the US because it can help you. But if it's on the other way around, then I don't think the US will be good for you. So choose US if you handle risk well, if you recover fast from failure, because of course there are times that you will fail and then you have to quickly put yourself together and then move on. Okay. You want the upside and you accept pressure. Pressure is everywhere, even in the UK, pressure. Make sure that every decision that you make, you are comfortable with. And guess what? You wouldn't get everything 100%. But once you factor this in the decision making, it helps you to get to some stable mindset. And once you move there, because you already know this, it shapes you and helps you to move in the country. Choose UK. If you value stability, you want safety net, you accept slower growth. If you want a quick growth like cooking, fast food, bro, UK will not be a good place for you because life life is not like a fast food. UK will not be best for you if you want a quick growth like within a year or two you want to have your car, your house, your bro, take it easy. It's not like that. It takes time. Okay, you hate uncertainty, fine, you can choose the UK. You want predictability, you can predict, okay, every year there will be this policy, this will happen, then the UK will be good for you. Neither choice is wrong. If you choose the US, good. If you choose the UK, fantastic. But the wrong choice is misalignment. And once there is a misalignment, then you are dropping into chaos. So make sure that there is an alignment to what the choices that you are making towards your long term goal between these two wonderful countries. Any decision between these two countries has to be very thoughtful because same language but different lifestyle, immigration policies different, and you don't want to mess up in any of these two countries. So if you are choosing the US, make sure that the US goes along or aligns with your future and long-term goals, and you understand at least 80 to 90% of how things work there. I'm talking about the realities, not the Instagram reels and videos that you see. Those are not the realities on the ground. Get people who will give you the realities, the honest responses that will shape your decision making. If you are looking at the salaries, if you are looking at the money that maybe people, your friends there are telling you, hey, you come to the UK. I mean, within a month or two, you make a lot of pounds. Bro, it's not like that. Take it easy because it takes time to go into success. It takes time. And I mean, you cannot microwave your destiny within 30 minutes or 10 minutes with a microwave. It takes time. So you have to accept the reality And accepting the reality means that getting the right information and getting the real, honest information and not their fantasies. And that will shape your decision making. The US and the UK are very wonderful countries, great opportunities. I mean, wonderful, great opportunities. Good things are going on there. But does it mean it will also go for you when you move there or not? All depends on your decision making. All depends on the choices that you are making. All depends on the system, how you are learning the system so that you will be able to fit in well. The US and the UK can be best for you depending on how you make your decisions. Moving abroad isn't about status, it isn't about prestige, it isn't about that famous kind of glamour. You see, it's not about what sounds impressive, it's about alignment with your personality. You see, it's about alignment with your career goals in a longer term, your tolerance for stress, your idea of safety. All right. So, moving abroad can be exciting, moving abroad can be joyous, but it shouldn't be about your status. It shouldn't be about prestige. It shouldn't be about showing off. It shouldn't, it should align with your personality because you know yourself. I cannot decide which country you should move to, but I will share this video to help you decide it easily, to help you make the right decisions and travel on the legal path. Because when you travel on the illegal path, you become an alien, like what is happening in the US, illegal alien. you become you become an illegal immigrant in the country, and that can go against you. Choosing them, making the right choices to travel gives you the peace of mind because you know you went through the right route, not through the boats, not through any weak border control places. But you see, and all this, and your decision, I want to say again, that has to be aligned with your personality, your career goals in the longer term, because your tolerance level can also help you. Because once you're tolerant, then living in any of these two countries will be helpful to you. You choose the wrong system, and the regret follows quietly. But you choose the right system, then the growth comes in for you. So, which of these countries do you want to go to? The US or the UK? Let me know in the comment section where you are going to and what is the difficult part for you when you are deciding. Now to the cost of living. Not what you think. USA bigger cost, bigger variation. In the USA, cost of living isn't uniform. No, it changes dramatically by city, state, zip code, whatever it is. For example, in San Francisco, rents can be 2 or 3 times the national average. Smaller cities might feel affordable, unlike any other countries that you travel to. The smaller cities, the cost of living is quite low, and it's same for the US and the UK. But everything's add up. Healthcare, utilities, car insurance, taxes, everything adds up. Food costs vary. Transportation costs often surprise immigrants. So, you need a car, registration, insurance, fuel. It's not cheap. So before you decide to move to the US, all these things should be factored into your plans. You should look at all this with a very long lens because you cannot skip the cost of living. It is a country that you are going to live in for a longer period. So the cost of living should be part of your decision making if you are someone who wants to be in the USA. You might earn more, yes, but you spend more everywhere. It's not easy. You will spend more. The more you spend, the more you earn, the more you will definitely spend. So it's up to you to see what best works for you. But cost of living cannot be out of your decision making when you want to move to any of these countries. You can live cheap, of course, depending on your lifestyle. You can live cheap, but it usually means compromise. Further work from work, fewer conveniences, more travel time. So, depending on your lifestyle, now to the UK. UK is steadier, but still pricey. Cost of living is more predictable. So you know that you are going to spend this amount and then you can budget for that. Rent is high in London, of course. I mean, one of the most diverse city in the world. Rent is high in London, and in the southeast, northern cities are cheaper. So you can look at the northern cities, but if you want to live high, then you should. I mean, London cities, London, I mean, it's high. Rent is high. Okay, so northern cities are cheaper. Utilities and groceries rise steadily. So once again, it depends on your lifestyle, how you want to spend or live your life. Food costs can be lower than some US cities, but housing taxes and energy bills bite. So the cost of living for these two countries um is different. Okay, it's different. So it cannot be same. And it depends on your lifestyle. So these are countries you want to move to. So you should look at both countries. Healthcare doesn't stress your budget, but everyday expenses still matter. So in both countries, a paycheck feels different once bills hit. So you can receive a high paycheck, and then once the bills hit in, you see that once it was a high paycheck, but it's dropping. So higher salary doesn't equal comfort. So you must align income with real expenses, not just numbers on a salary slip. So if you have friends and family in any of these two countries and they are telling you, hey, I receive like £5,000, £6,000, £10,000 a month, and they are not telling you their expenses, realities, you will think that you are not doing anything or even you are not even living well in wherever you find yourself and you want to move to this country. Don't make your decision only on that country, only on that factor of the salary. You should you should know, okay, how much am I going to spend at the end of the month? How much am I going to save to help me? Because you need to balance this. Let's talk about job opportunities, the real differences. US, bigger job market, of course, and bigger competition. When I was in China, I had a job from the US, a business sponsorship job from one company. It was a consulting company, and I was going to work as a training manager. We went through the process, and then unfortunately, COVID-19 came in, and China was blocked. The whole world couldn't, I mean, move or even do things. I mean, conveniently. So I lost that opportunity. So US has bigger job opportunities are there, but it comes with caveats. Okay. Example, the technology hubs are saturated. So if you are into IT, I mean, you can look at the technology aspect when it comes to the US, the technology aspect when it comes to the US. Then you see the entry level jobs pay well initially until experience demands higher expectations. Freelance and gig works exist, but without safety nets. So you can be doing some freelance working and also get other gig works outside what you are doing. Okay, but without safety nets. So you should look at that. Employers hire fast, but they can fire fast too. So employ faster and then you are also fired faster if you're not doing the right thing or maybe something goes wrong. Opportunity exists if you are relentless. So I think that this does not only work for the US. Everywhere you travel to, opportunities will exist, but only if you are not relentless, then you get opportunity. You adapt quickly in the US, you can relocate for better market. So if you're living in San Francisco and it's not going well, you can move to Chicago, Ohio, New York City, anywhere, and it's going to work for you. So some industries strive. For example, in the US, the tech industry, the finance industry, the healthcare industry, construction industry, creative and freelance. These industries thrive. So if you have the skills, then this will be a good opportunity gap for you. Settling into a stable job might take time. Ground zero, it takes time. Now, the UK is structured but limited ladders. So job opportunities in the UK are solid but more contained. You see, yeah, more contained. In Vietnam, I had some multiple health jobs from the UK. So it's sustained. Okay, so financial services in lending, tech in Manchester, Cambridge, healthcare jobs nationwide. Public sector jobs are also strong. So depending on your personality and also your educational background, which areas will best fit you, you upgrade yourself, you upgrade your skills, and then you make strategic job applications. Your job application has to be strategic. You don't have to put in the job any field that you see just because you're looking for a job. No, if you are moving to any of these countries, make sure that your job applications are being strategic. You know the field that you are good at, you know your skills. So let it be strategic. Don't apply to any job for applying sake. Okay. So don't do that. Make sure that you make your job more strategic. You know exactly where you are applying the jobs to and keep doing it because consistency will bring in the results. Work visas are tied to job roles and many companies prefer local experiences. Most companies will prefer the locals because once it's visa sponsorship job, they have to pay a lot, pay for the visa course, COS, and all that. So it takes time, but once you are patient and you trust the process and you are focused on what you want to achieve at the end of the day in alignment to your personality, then things can go well for you. You will spend time building trust, and that's okay. But once you are inside the system, it supports you. So that's for the UK. Now, the key line here is US gives more doors, UK gives more stability behind them. So, but you have to be patient. If you are looking to rush the process and you want to make quick money and quick success within a few years' time, I don't see how possible that is. You should lower your expectation in these two countries, the US and the UK expectations. You have to lower your expectations because what you see on the Instagram reels and the social media, once you get to the ground, the reality is different. So lower your expectations. Lower that, hey, once I get there within a year, I'm going to do that, I'm going to build a house. No. Lower your expectations for these two countries. If you are moving to any one of them, or even if you are moving to any country, you should lower your expectations because the realities are different. This will be my final thought for you. Greatness means different things depending on who you are. Depending on who you are. The US, the lands of possibility, the lands of opportunity, the American dream, we always hear that. It is ambitious, it is noisy, it tests you every day. So, if you want the chances to rise fast, reward for risk, big cities with big networks, a job market that changes daily basis. The US is electrifying, but it doesn't comfort you. It demands more than it pampers. So before you make the decision to the US, think about all this, think it through. Because whilst it's working for someone in the US, does not necessarily mean that it will work out for you and vice versa. Some countries will better benefit you than any of these two countries. However, any of these two countries can also make your dreams come true depending on who you are. It expects sharp elbows. The US expects sharp elbows. It rewards sharp minds. In the UK, the land of stability, okay, it is calm, it is quieter, it protects quietly, feels like a steady, a steady rhythm, less flashy, more reliable. It supports your life, it supports your daily life without constant adrenaline. So, if the UK will best fit who you are, at the end of the day, it's who you are and what you want to achieve, then you choose the UK. If the US will also benefit you based on who you are, then you go in for the US. But always make sure that you are making the right choices, the right decisions based on the realities and then the honesty, not on the fantasies. Your choice isn't better or worse, it's just different. Neither country is superior. Only one might be the right fit for you, depending on who you are, depending on your career goals, depending on how you want your future to be. Neither country is superior. Only one might be the right fit for you. If your peace depends on structure, support, predictability, the UK might comfort you. I know some people that giving them US, they will never go there. They will prefer to stay in any of the Asian countries. Giving them UK, they will not go there. They will prefer to stay in the US. Giving them the US, they will prefer to stay in the UK or any part of the Europe. It's because of who they are and what they think the systems can be. Some people regret not because the country failed them, but because their expectations didn't match their reality. So the expectations you set for yourself in moving to these countries may be very problematic for you if it doesn't match the reality on the ground. That's the real gap most people never talk about. The next time you are choosing between these two countries, let your checklist include these things so that you can make the right choices, the right decisions. And when you travel to any of these countries, you don't face problems. So, which of these countries do you want to go to? The US or the UK? Let me know in the comment section where you are going to and what is the difficult part for you when you are deciding, and I will share. I will try and respond to other comments under the comment section. And also, please don't forget to like this video for me, subscribe it, and also share. It helps YouTube to also move their videos to other people and help them to make the right choices and travel legally, not illegally. My name is dostnomad. I thank you for your time watching this video. Which country you are deciding, the US or the UK? What is your reason for making these choices? And I hope you make the right choice. I hope you make the right decisions among any of these two countries and you achieve your travel dreams.